And the next thing we'll do is so now if we go to Basecamp first, I guess that's probably the best part to start again. So Basecamp is the fourth or third tab along, next to your website.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And what so we've done, so if we scroll back up, and we've sort of gone through, we've done that setup session where we've gone through all the different social media channels, and then I'll just
Mhm.
quickly talk through what we're going to do next, right? So realistically, sort of three parts to this next little planning exercise, right? So
Mhm.
largely, so first thing is clearly we put some objectives around why we're doing it. If you go a little higher, you'll see those, and you would remember that from the
Oh, there we
proposal.
go.
So
This
this
planning
one
set
here, so
this bit.
yeah, so that's so clearly what we're doing. We've done that sort of whole protection of the social media and making sure they're consistent and look and read the way they should. We
Yep.
kind of want to differentiate you from competitors up there and wherever else, by way of at least where we can, in terms of the fact that you've got these channels and they are all on brand and that side of things. We want you to be
Mhm.
top of mind by way of, particularly with people that have used you before, referred you, already know of you, and that's why we typically
Mhm.
do the day-to-day type posting. And so, in other words, that's almost our retention marketing strategy. And then that together with, we're going to talk a little bit around Facebook advertising, is how we then go about trying to get new people as well as the people coming back, right? So, and
Yep.
overall, if we do our job well, we hope to make sure that there's more and um, more people coming back and more new people coming as well. And then, yeah, we'll all be singing each other's praises. So that's the intent,
Yep.
right? So more business. So the first thing that we kind of do is look at just connections. Now, the good thing for a business like yours, as I was saying, it was quite impressive with the Facebook and Instagram. At least you have got that sort of established following,
Thank
and
you.
so that's handy. But what we're going to look at first is, and so they're typically more likely to be B2B, although people that have used you are then probably following you and that sort of thing as well. So that's great. The good thing about having that established following is realistically you don't need to advertise to those people, right? So those people are already going to see a percentage of posts that we put out. So again, like I said, that's where the day-to-day posting comes in. Um, but what we want to do is, we'll start with LinkedIn and just look at an approach I use around person to person type connecting. Um,
Mhm.
and we'll look similarly. It's probably that you've already done this on Facebook, but then how you can also invite people to both LinkedIn and to your Facebook pages that you're already connected to personally. So, in other words, people that want you to do well in business, you can invite them to follow your business pages, right? So,
Yep.
we'll do that. We'll also look at,
Oh, you would do that. I don't need to do that.
no, we will do that. As in, we'll do that
Okay.
now. We'll make a start of doing that, but it does become a
Mhm.
bit of homework, whether it's you or others that are in the business, right? Potentially. So around
Yep.
that, continuing to grow the B2B likes, particularly, but also from a person to person, just a couple of strategies that we use around that. Um, then we'll look at your Facebook Ads Manager, and then we'll look at a posting schedule. So that's largely what we're going to work through. So just the next
Mhm.
bit. So like I said, and where you went to, let's start on LinkedIn, because that's where the only sort of part where it's really dealing with Courtney. And I
Yep.
see you've got you've got a fair number of followings. So as in connections, 520, which then straight away puts you into that 500 plus. So you could be 5,000 for all anybody else knows, but effectively got
Yep.
that 500 plus, right? The first people that we often, just to for by way of an exercise, is, I imagine you're, because Brisbane's such a massive local government council, right? So I think it's the biggest in Australia. But if you go to Brisbane City Council for me in the search up the top there, um, so Brisbane City Council, there we go, that top one, right? So
Mhm.
then, you may as well follow that because you're part of the council. But then
Mhm.
if you click on Brisbane City Council page, what I want to look for is people in the Brisbane. In fact, geez, it's so big, 4,715, right? But click on that 4,715 employees,
Mhm.
and maybe from a filter here, um, what I want to do, in fact, it's interesting because your second ones are often going to be people that may be related, right? So, as in field, it's
Hmm.
interesting. It's all the legal ones that are coming up, right? Um,
Yes.
but they're not the ones I actually. So, there's no harm in connecting with these. In fact, it may well be advantageous to connect with people in the industry that are involved in Brisbane. And so, just so that they know of your business. So, I don't know. So, someone like legal counsel Sarah, she's at Brisbane City Council, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So would you connect with her? Would you
Not
would
normally.
you
I
see
would
it as that?
usually,
Yep.
oh, sorry, I would usually connect with real estate agents, financial planners, um, accountants.
Okay. So in the council
They're
world,
usually the
they're not
main
the
ones that I
industry,
do.
aren't probably okay. Cool. Okay. So what I'll get you to do then in the filters, in actual fact, maybe what we need to do is um I want to see. In fact, I thought with connections, you'd actually be able to go because there's just so many in Brisbane. As I said, it's a ridiculous size schedule. But let's just go through. I want to try and find the business and economic development people within council, right? So the people that offer resource grants, networking events, that sort of stuff, right? And they're part
Mhm.
of the Brisbane Council. So in other words, these people are charged with. So you probably it's only really second and third connections you want to look for. But I'll get you to go down it. And so as I said, it's unusual because there is a lot of legal people in here, right? Normally, the first people you see is so go to page two is like the mayor or the CEO. Um, other ones, a principal economic analyst. He's probably in the economic. See that guy, Louise? Well, it's not a guy; it's actually a lady, Louisa, right? So,
Mhm.
can I get you to click on connect and with her, and then add a note? I just want you to add a note for me. So, to
Mhm.
there, and what you would say is, "Hi, Louisa. Uh,
Mhm.
I own and operate." Uh, yep, the business, like a collect
Mhm.
lawyers uh, um, from from the city of Brisbane, or from the city of Brisbane, and would like to connect. Uh, And you could just do full stop. Kind regards, Courtney, for instance, and maybe just
Should I
copy.
space it out or
No, this is the best way that
no?
you've actually got it because it comes a bit. If you do space it out, what can finish up happening is it gets yeah. So
Is it one?
s- you
Have I just lost it? There we go.
add a note, paste, and then yeah, go send. So it looks like it. Yeah, that's okay. Then maybe just paste that into Basecamp. I know it's sort of a no-brainer, but you can get rid of the. But we could equally use it in for a couple of the ones that you were just talking about. So I'm just going to. So if we
Mhm.
paste it in there, and get rid of Louisa, so we don't make that from the city of
Mhm.
Brisbane. Um, Actually, being particular, maybe let's just make the C capital for next one. So the capital C, the from the city of Brisbane.
Oh.
It's me being very pedantic. And maybe just
Mhm.
copy it again, and then let's see if we can find anybody else out of the economic development. Um, the reality of this is you could just about say hi, Louisa. It would be good to connect, and most of them, if they're using it, would connect, right? Um,
Mhm.
so it's people, and so let's go down. As I said, it's the economic
Do you
develop,
say economic
yeah,
development?
economic
Yeah.
development. Development management could be one of them. So if you go back one page, then there was a development officer, but they could also actually this lady here is clearly it. But yeah, scroll down. There was a development officer. I think was it their development manager. This
Development
Thomas.
manager.
Yeah, so potentially Thomas is worth knowing. So go add a note. Yeah, and just hi Thomas. Uh, yeah, and then yeah, scroll down and then go to the next page again. And there was another economic development one. So scrolling down. what's this one? Oh, well, this one, Nathan Percy, is interesting because he's the director of business engagement. So clearly,
Mm.
he's tasked with how if he's using it a lot. I'm not sure because he hasn't got a photo there with him. But again, he's
Mm.
certainly his title suggests that it's worth connecting with him.
Yep.
He's clearly on the political side of things, more so than the officer side of things. So we go send, and then it was the next one down was Dr. John Cowie. He's clearly manager city planning, so he's clearly got
Yep.
higher requirements in terms of being able to. So we've got to add a note. Um, I imagine Noosa would sit under a different council, right?
Council, right? It is. It's Noosa City Council or Noosa
Yeah.
Shire. I think it's Noosa Shire
Yeah.
Council. Yeah.
So that's the exercise that you could use for anyone. The reason I choose that one, I choose the economic development people because these people are on a wage to actually help local businesses. And because it's
Mhm.
not just about, whilst it's advantageous, yes, if we connect with them, we can then invite them to follow your company. And
Mhm.
then all of a sudden they know of you. The reality is the follow up conversation could well be, um, can you let me know what is available to to local businesses like mine? You
Mhm.
know, so that's a question that you could ask. Could you choose to? And they might just come back. Generally speaking, in my experience, they'll just say, "Oh, you can join our business email. We have business events. We often provide
Mhm.
grants, that sort of stuff." So or they would point you to a site where you can get that sort of information, basically, so that you
Mhm.
know. As I said, and they are regarded as arguably, um, well, certainly the biggest, but may well be the best in Australia as well. So in terms of, and there's another lady there, that Nicole. See, she's got economic
Nicole, I was
development.
just looking at her. Yep.
Oh yeah, so see how you had to do follow there. Click on Nicole. You don't actually have to follow her. You can actually click on her there, and then
On her.
you'll come up and go more. See on the right, it's got more, and go
Mhm.
connect underneath save to PDF, and then add a note, and then you can do the same thing. You can personalize yeah, uh, that one. Yep. So,
Mhm.
um, so do you want to just do something similar for Noosa Council?
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Let's do Noosa.
There we go. Noosa Council.
Clearly, they're not going to be as big, right? But again, it doesn't hurt for your business to follow them. Gets it to whoever's. Yeah.